Are your emails struggling to connect with your audience? Jon Buchan joined me to talk about his top tips for copywriting and making sure you stand out. So Jon, welcome to Habitz.
Thank you for having me.
Not at all. So copywriting, people often get confused about what it is and what exactly you do, but how are you an expert in this field?
Specifically, I started out being an expert, weirdly, but I didn't do any studying of copywriting. My entry into copywriting was cold pitching. So I ran a digital marketing agency. I used to work for digital marketing agencies in London, and then thought after 5 years, I think I can do this better myself. Started an agency with my brother, and for a year, everything was great. And then we lost 3 clients. And then I realized, I don't know how to open leads. I know how to close deals, but I always had salespeople when that I'd worked with when I worked at other agencies. And I was like, oh my God, I don't know how to, I've got payroll to meet. I really do want to pay my staff on time. So I dealt with that in the only mature way I knew how at the time. I got blind drunk and wrote the most absurd cold email I possibly could, because I knew what other people were sending. Because even though I offered digital marketing, I would get emails offering me digital marketing services.
Sometimes, Jon, the best happy accidents happen when you're drunk, don't they? Though? And it's a happy accident, but it's benefited.
Indeed. And then I was still tipsy enough in the morning to think it was a wise idea to send this completely insane email to some of the most senior decision makers at some of the world's largest brands and corporations. And to my amazement, it worked. I got emails such as, "This is the best cold email I've ever received. I've never replied to an unsolicited email or letter in 19 years, but I had to reply to yours." And my personal favorite, which would simply read, "My colleague forwarded me your spam email and we would like to meet you to discuss opportunities." It makes them smile, and it was super honest. The first line of the email admitted that I got their data from a list. So instead of shying away from what people would usually avoid saying, most of these emails would start with things like, "Do you have trouble navigating the ever-changing world of digital marketing? Like, who speaks like that?" Whereas my email said, "Greetings, Joe. You've never heard of me. Hi, I'm Jon. I got your details from a list. Gasp. But hey, at least you're list worthy. That's got to be worth something, right?" So immediately I've admitted right off the bat something that is unexpected. And that refreshing honesty, it gets people to read. And then the rest of the email has elements of humor. So it just keeps their interest, makes them laugh. And if people are smirking or smiling or laughing when they're reading your email or message or letter, they're more likely to reply positively.
Do you think that's one of your first bad habits then, Jon, would you say, being too robotic? That's a really bad habit to be. If it sounds repetitive, people aren't going to engage with it.
Yeah, I think that, and a lot of the advice that you find online about cold emails is bad. It makes assumptions like CEOs don't have big attention spans, so you should only send an email with 3 lines. I'm not saying these emails can't work, but these assumptions don't bear out. Obviously, it's not to everyone's taste, but that's fine. One of the other benefits of this is there's, as well as the glowing responses, you would get some angry responses of people that didn't like it. But you never have to work with those people. It qualifies and disqualifies. You're going to get on with people that share your sense of humor. So it's advantageous in that way.
And I suppose that's a bad habit in itself, like thinking, I need to work with everyone. I've got to get everyone on board, where actually you don't really need to do that. So would you say that's a bad habit?
Yeah, I would. I would say that I think people have their mind is in the right place, that you should be respectful. I'm not saying that you should be disrespectful or offensive. I know the name of my company is Charm Offensive, but it's the term Charm Offensive, it's not about being offensive. But I think people take being respectful too far, and they remove all personality from their emails. and that removes any chance of, or greatly removes any chance of getting a reply.
I think that's the worst bad habit you can do. I think taking your personality away, like, your name, Charm Offensive, it's so personable. It's something that people love to read. It's something different. So I think that's a really bad habit, taking your personality away.
I think people, they see important people, say, or sought after people on a pedestal. And often these people don't want to be put on a pedestal. They are still normal people. They have guilty pleasures. They have silly drunk stories where they did silly things. They're humans at the end of the day. So write to people rather than professionals. Don't be job titleist. These are still people at the end of the day. Nobody becomes, say, the CEO of Red Bull and then decides, you know what, I don't like to laugh anymore. That's something I did when I wasn't successful.
And you've got to laugh. And I think that's when you start losing that. That's where things start to go wrong. So I'd say that's a really good habit, is being personable. Yeah,
exactly. Refreshing honesty, being personable, and trying to make people smile. Like you can imagine if you're working at a corporation, not every day is going to be exciting. And if you can make someone's day and make them smile, and often I would get that reply, you've made my day, you've made me laugh out loud, I've shown all my colleagues, people are going to have a conversation about you, and that usually leads to good things.
Definitely. And I love that you want to make people laugh. So what other good habits, Jon, then would you say would be perfect for copywriting?
Reading a lot. For me, the reason that email came out when I was desperate is because I didn't study copywriting, traditional copywriting, so I didn't know what I was meant to do. I didn't learn about cold email. When I was growing up from the age of a pretty young age, probably 8 till the age of 16, I used to stay up watching sitcoms and stand-up comedy till 4 a.m. on my little TV in my room. So that was my 10,000 hours experience. So when I came to write that email, it was joke formulas that came out rather than copywriting hooks. And that's something I think people should study. And that's something that I teach people, that there are formulas to writing funny lines. It's not stand-up comedian funny, but in the context of a business email, which is what I'm competing with, other business emails, it's a lot funnier.
It's just witty and it's just human. Like it's not cheesy. Well, you tell me if it's cheesy stuff, but it's entertaining and it's something that just makes, like I say, just makes you smile.
Exactly. And it's there's a word I think people use in economics where they talk about people being econs, and I think people do the same in business. They talk of things about pain points and they talk about prospects in a way that removes all of their humanity. And you have to remember, at the end of the day, you're still emailing people, and humor is never going to go out of fashion.
Not in this country anyway.
Exactly.
So what is your final good habit then, Jon? What would you say, golden rule, this is what I need to do?
I would say a really important one. This is not particularly groundbreaking, but follow up. If someone doesn't reply to your first message, don't do it like the next day or even after 3 days. I would wait 7 days, because I realize I'm the least important person in their inbox. And I see a lot of follow-up emails where it's almost like, you didn't reply to my email the other day, and I would like to know if you're interested. And that you should be meek and be meek and direct in your follow-ups, and give a little bit of time. I always waited 7 days because I think, out of respect, I don't deserve a response from you. I'm probably the least important thing in your inbox. They've got loads of work to do. So make sure you follow up.
So, Jon, where can people find you? Where do they want to access your services? Like, I think I definitely do after this. I've had a good crickle.
If you go to charm-offensive.co.uk, that's my website. You can also search for Charm Offensive on Facebook. I've got a Facebook group. I think there's about 14,000 members in there. If you're not on Facebook, you can find me on LinkedIn as well. Search for my name, Jon Buchan. You'll know my profile because it's a admittedly photoshopped picture of me rescuing a basket of kittens and a baby from a burning building.
So gosh. So thank you so much again, Jon, for joining us.
Oh, thank you so much for inviting me on. This was a lot of fun. I really like this format, by the way. You've got a great thing going. I'm going to check out your other videos now.